The audio intro here. So my name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Thanks for joining the My Amazon Guy show, TGIF. It's Friday. And every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, I come in and answer questions from the audience. We do provide assistance first and foremost to members. You can find us by joining our membership at youtube.com/myamazonguy. And with that, we'll dive in straight to our questions here. So restock limits getting worse. Only 1.5 months allowed. My sales have been constant, but our limit is now half of what it was 6 months ago. Is that normal? What can we do? So kind of getting straight to the point here. Amazon is out of space. So the restock limits getting worse is more of a symptom of how bad the supply chain is and how FBA is just really struggling right now. And it has nothing to do with your IPI. So I myself, on my own account, have hit my restock limitation. I'm chock full, and I'm trying to launch new products right now. So it's a really big problem. There's not a lot you can do about this besides opening up your own warehouse, your own 3PL. In addition to that, over in China, they're about to close down some more ports. And so Amazon is struggling to have enough people operating FBA. They're out of room physically. And Mike can hear the mic. That made me laugh. Thank you, Mike, for that. And so supply chain, just giant wreck. Here's my prognosis. It's going to be 2 years before we see restock limitations go away. We're going to see the supply chain be a wreck for 2 years. Really, really problematic. So hopefully you guys have a nice 3-day weekend coming into Labor Day weekend here and can get some R&R in despite some of those challenges. If we have to set up FBM and we do it well, will Amazon see that increase our restock limit? No, they will not. FBM is not calculated as part of that restock limit in any shape or form. And as it previously mentioned, it has more to do with Amazon being out of space than it has to do with your own IPI score and your success. Does Amazon penalize us on restocking limits if we've historically had more than our allocation in the FBA warehouse? No. The IPI score has an impact on restock limits. And what you just mentioned is a representation of the IPI. But no, right now they're really restrictive just primarily because they literally don't have any room at FBA right now. I want to launch some new products, but have maxed out way over restocking limit in order to make room for new products. You suggest I do a removal order. Any watch outs there? Yes, I think a restock, to get another order in, you could delete an old shipment where something hasn't been sent in. That might free up a little bit of space for you. And then also doing a removal order to get something out that's not doing well is also advisable. Finally, one last question. Do you suggest we use Amazon Attribution Beta? I do, but I don't hold your breath. It does not work with Facebook. It does kind of work with AdWords a little bit, but still a little suspicious. So I do recommend you use it, but I do not hold my breath that you're going to have really good proof of concept there. Carla, hey, Steve, not sure if you remember, but I keep having the same issue as last week. It's been 10 days. Seller support want to update the image. They say they have updated it, but want to wait 48 hours, but nothing happens. Carla, so you have a cached image issue because I do remember seeing this issue with you where on the back end it reflects and on the front end it doesn't, but even on some of the orders it reflects, but it still doesn't reflect on the Amazon detail page. You're going to need to escalate your issue and show them proof and literally reference the past case ID in that ticket, take a picture of the listing, take a picture of the back end and show them like, look, there's a problem here. It's still not reflecting. It's a very unusual situation, Carla. Usually we have these resolved by then. So sorry you're experiencing that. David says, I sell a low-cost sticker under my brand. Someone just jumped on my listing. How can I contact the seller personally? Prefer to kindly reach out before reporting. Yeah, I'm a nice guy. So bad news bears for nice guys. You're not going to get any response from that seller when you reach out. They don't. Either one of two things happens. Either one, the seller that is violating the problem, they don't know any better. So when you contact them, they don't know any better. And the second is they know better and they're doing it anyway. And if it's in that situation, when you reach out, they're just going to ignore you. So those are your challenges, David. Now, here's the thing. You can actually get the seller information right on their page. So let's just go to a random person's listing and I'll showcase this. I don't know if this is a good item to do this on or not, but let's roll with it. So I'm going to share my screen here. So In here, we can see buying options. Let's find somebody who's got the buy box. So if we go on random person junipers, so when you click on them, see here how we've got the business address. See how here we've got a customer service phone number and ask the question. That is how you should get in contact with them, David. So give that a whirl, and let me know how that works for you. All right, so scrolling back up here, you got a variation page, and Amazon's internal added a pack of 3. I tried to update with upload files, but it's still there. Anyway, I can get it updated. I open a case, got an auto reply. All right, so I'm not sure if they added a 3-pack to your 1-pack listing. I'm not clear based on your question here. But yes, what you could do is you could file a brand registry takedown of the ASIN. If that's the problem, you would file a ticket to basically say, hey, this ASIN is against my trademark. I want the ASIN removed. Now, if they updated your own ASIN, if it's just the detail page change, don't do that, obviously. And in that instance, you would just file tickets to get that detail page changed. I have around 115K in sales a month. I pay $8K a month for PPC. Is this normal? My overall ACOS for the last 30 days is 20%. Am I overpaying for PPC? No, I think you're probably right in the below average, actually. 11% is generally the target we recommend people hit. This is category specific. So Mike, if you're in like garden and outdoors, I'd say your AK is above average actually. But if you were in supplements, you'd be way below average. So it really depends on the category you're in, Mike. So if you want to admit or share which category you're in, I can weigh in a little bit further. But I'd say your 8K on 115K in sales is actually lower than average. I would go look at your conversion rates. If you have conversion rates above 16%, you're leaving sales on the table and probably should increase your ads. 20% ACOS is very strong. If I name my images with keywords before uploading to Amazon, will it help for ranking? Probably. We don't know for sure. I would go ahead and do it. I think it couldn't hurt. Scuda says, hi, Steve. On the West Coast, I consistently rank on page 1 for main keywords. But on East Coast, I'm on 3 or 4. This is happening after a suspension I fixed. Any insights? Scuda, are you a West Coast brand? Do you have warehouses in the West Coast but not the East? Is your FBA inventory evenly spread across the country? These are geographic questions that could dictate those ranking questions. And I suspect that you probably have a higher conversion in the West Coast than you have on the East Coast. Now, if you are selling something like, I'm trying to think of a West Coast item. The first thing that comes to mind is catering equipment. So if you're selling catering equipment, it would make a lot of sense that on the West Coast, you'd have a higher rank. Now, kind of the counterpoint to that, though, is if you're selling catering equipment, wouldn't the East Coast have the same competition from the same product? So why would the rank be different? So that's kind of a little shaky analysis on my part, but I would say it's probably a distribution question, which your second question in here kind of leads me into that actually. I have coax Amazon to distribute my inventory evenly all over the US for prime delivery and ranking purposes. There's really no coaxing you can do right now. Amazon's going to do what Amazon's going to do at the moment. So they're chock full of inventory. So the only thing you could do is open up an East Coast warehouse. That might be your only option. But Scuda, California is a giant state, and this might be a kind of a situation where you count your many blessings and say supply chain be damned right now. There's nothing a lot you can do on the East Coast. Karen just became a member of the channel. Thank you for joining us. If you have a question, we'll be sure to prioritize it for you today. Scrolling back up to our member questions here. Jeffrey says, I'm a sole seller, 2 SKUs per ASIN, FBA and FBM. I have listed FBM when FBA is sold out. Is it better to list both at the same time for more sales? Also, seems to get a lot of sales in Puerto Rico when I list FBM, no FBA to Puerto Rico. All right, so Puerto Rico is kind of a one-off scenario here. They don't subscribe to FBA very much, so FBM does typically do better to Puerto Rico, especially since most people don't actually ship to Puerto Rico, so you're going to have higher sales there. That makes perfect sense. So it's kind of a one-off event. As for the FBA versus FBM 2 SKU situation, I would say I generally will have my price of FBM be higher, and I'll keep FBM active. That's how I generally get around it, and then just leave it in perpetuity. So that's what I would recommend. Now, when you said I list FBM when FBA is out, but is it better to list both at the same time? You're not going to generate more sales per se with FBM activated, generally speaking. But I would say for Puerto Rico, if you're getting some action there, I would go ahead and do it. I would just have your FBM be priced just $1 more or something like that. Old Hickory, are you able to make a category change without approval of Brand Registry with a flat file template upload? Yes. I submitted a flat file partial update that went through, but changes did not take effect. If that happens, you will need to do some ticketing, unfortunately. Let's see. Thomas says, hi, Stephen. When hiring you for a brand name change, does your team require full access to my Seller Central account for sending out tickets on my behalf? Yes, we do. You're not going to give us your login, though. You're going to add us as a user to your account, and then we'll pretty much need full access. The only thing we don't need is like banking and loan stuff, financial stuff. We don't need that. But we really do need almost every other key area because we're going to contact Amazon. We're going to need your inventory access and stuff like that. We don't technically need access to your business reports, but the thing about giving us access to that is that we can see the past sales and see the past sales on the brand name, and so we'll know when the sales come in and that switches. So it can be helpful. It's technically not required, but the more access you give us, the faster we can get the job done for you. For those that are curious, we do have a service for brand name changes. It's one of our most popular services we added inside of 2021. And that's because there was just such a sheer volume of people that asked for it. We are expensive, $1,000 for 10 ASINs. And that's because the workload is just egregiously high. It's very, very difficult work to do. Let's scroll down, make sure get the member questions prioritized here. Scuda says we are losing the audio. That's right. We already did that. So let's scroll down to the next questions. It's going to be a lot of scrolling up and down for me today. Okay. Wow. A lot of comments in here. Karen. All right. Let's go to your question next. Hi, my product reviews are not getting migrated from one country's Amazon marketplaces to another. My trademark is registered. I don't have a UPC and I can't really afford. Rather, I merely put the ASIN. So let's see. So we're not getting migrated from one country marketplace to another. So if you've got the trademark, then you can file brand registry. But when you say the product data is not getting migrated, have you physically tried to load it manually would be my first question. So even if it doesn't migrate, you can still load the data and have it match. Now, if you're doing this all without a UPC, I really think you're crazy. I think you're totally crazy, Karen. I think you need to have a UPC or an EAN. So if you're international, you could buy these cheaply anywhere you want. At bare minimum, buy them off eBay, retired codes. Not supposed to do that. I do. Everybody else does it. Hasn't caused me a problem yet. We know that they want you to buy it from GS1, though. So hopefully that's helpful. And then there were two people that made a donation today. I want to make sure I don't miss their questions. So El Zucio and Raw. I see one. Here we go. Here's El Zucio. Hey, Stephen, I just joined MAG for 12 months management service. I have a product that I believe is $200K a month product. I'm excited and can't wait to see the results I will get from MAG. Well, thank you for hiring us. I really appreciate that. We assign an account manager to work with everybody that hires my Amazon guy, and we'll do everything we can to grow sales. We really hang our hat on making those sales grow. And then Raw, I want to make sure I didn't miss yours. I found it now. All right. Steven, 5 stars, 4 stars. What's the best way of bundling, virtual bundling? If you have one FBA SKU, we have a warehouse and can do merchant fulfilled. Our competitor has bundles of 3, 5, 9, and 12. All right. So this is a very complex topic. Virtual bundling is a defensive measure. It's not going to grow you sales. The reason why you do virtual bundles is to just give additional space in the detail page to talk about your product. That's why I call it a defensive play. It's not going to acquire you new customers. Virtual bundling does not save you money either. There's no cost savings to virtual bundling. So like the fee structure is identical. Whether you sell 1 item, 2, 7, 10, they're going to charge you the FBA fee on each and every item in the virtual bundle. So I would recommend doing fulfilled by merchant for larger bundles. So like the 5, 9, and 12 example, I would FBM that all day. The 3-pack, I probably would FBA that one. And I would add that as a variation with the other variations that you want. And I would give a cost savings and ship those into Amazon. Make sure all 3 of those units are packed together in one packaging, though. That's really, really important. All right, scrolling through some more member questions. Scuda says, thank you, Steve. Can you recommend a comprehensive guide on template uploads? We have several videos we've done with template uploads. Let me see if I can find one on the fly here. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm just going to type in my Amazon guy. Or if I could spell my own brand name, that'd be cool. Template upload. Let's see what comes up. Best way to load image links to Amazon via Excel template. So this one might be helpful to you. Scuda, check this out. Put that in the chat for you. And then how to add products via upload beginner. This is a short video. It's not going to be too in-depth. Sydney put this one together for us. Check that one out. Put that one in the chat as well. Let's see what else we got. So flipping merchant fulfilled FBA, how to bulk upload A+ content. We might need another video on template uploads. These are not very comprehensive. So I'm going to add that to my list. Let's see if we can get a more comprehensive template upload video for you, Scuda. Old Hickory says, with restock limits in place, is there a value in trying to get your IPI score up over 500? Nope, not really. But I would say no matter what your IPI score is right now, it's hard to get inventory into Amazon. That's just fact of the matter right now. It's just really problematic. It's even more problematic if it takes you like 6 weeks to ship something in, because they count the inventory that's inbound against you on the restock limits. It's really challenging right now. Do inactive products have an impact on restock limits? They do not. What things have an impact on restock limits beyond days in inventory? Your advice for managing restock limits and Q4. How to use 3PLs. So I would say you have to have a 3PL or your own warehouse going into Q4. Just have to have it. You're going to stock out at FBA despite playing it perfectly. It's just, that is just the nature of the question. And I think that no matter what happens, if you don't have your own warehouse to manage some of this, you're just going to be in a world of pain. So David, if I missed your question, can you repost it? I scrolled up and I don't see it. I'm not sure if it had a link in it. We don't have links allowed just because we get so spammed with things. But so David, I don't see your very, very top one. Mike says, any way to get a copy my USA A+ content to Amazon Canada or UK or do I have to add it manually? So you can actually transport it over now. This is a new feature. It only works from the US to Canada though. I'm not aware if I don't believe it works from the US over to UK. I do have a video on this, transfer USA to Canada, that has some instructions on this. Let's see. Yep, found it. Here is the one you're looking for. How to move A+ content over to Canada from the US. So this is the video you want, Mike. A+ content from Canada to US or vice versa. So follow this. There's a no link on where to go here, so that's helpful. But inside here, this shows the A+ content manager on how to make that happen. So hopefully that helps you out, Mike. Let's see. Scrolling down for other member questions. David's asking, long question. I run my Amazon account very clean, Brand Registry. Thanks to you, Stephen. I still wake up daily worried if I'm going to be suspended or have an infringement in it. Horrible way to live. So first thing I'd mention, David, is don't live that way. You are going to get a phone call before they suspend you. So don't worry about that. Suspension risks have also dramatically dropped this year. Amazon has bigger fish to fry right now than trying to suspend somebody. They have supply chain woes that are a record problem, hijacker issues, fake accounts. Those are the things that they're generally working on right now. Of my roster of clients, not a single one of them has been suspended in 2021. Not a single one. That's down from the previous year considerably. We've had to deal with account suspensions a lot more frequently. So I think you can sleep easier, David. I really do. Question 2, they say they don't have all your eggs in one basket. I have a site also, but huge volume on Amazon versus web. What more can I do to sleep better? Xanax helps only so much. So David, I'd say having your site up is definitely the best thing you can do. I would also say if you're doing nothing shady, like nothing even gray, you really have nothing to worry about. They've cracked down on review generations, so stuff like that, search, find, buy, parentage infringements. But beyond those are kind of gray areas. Like even then, it's kind of a really low risk. Things like selling the same item on multiple accounts, that's where suspension risk drastically increases. Or selling a knockoff product. Those are where I see suspension risk the highest. I'm not seeing them for routine sales velocity. And the longer your account's been around, they might send you a warning message or like, hey, you're late shipments or something like that. But beyond that, David, I really don't think you have much risk. I think you should sleep easier, my friend. All right, so I have all the member questions caught up. So product reviews not getting migrated from one country. That is definitely related to the UPC. Definitely. All right, Nico. Hey, it's good to see you, my friend. I remember your name. Is there a way to remove an incorrect answer in the Q&As of my listing? Looks like I have somebody purposely giving wrong answers and directing people to their listing from the Q&A. I'll be honest. I've never attempted to remove an answer from a Q&A. So what I would do is I would answer it from the manufacturer and upvote it. That's how I would handle this. I think you could definitely report that problem by filing a ticket and asking for the removal of it, citing a policy violation. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put a link directly to the copy in question. You're going to actually paste and copy the copy in question. And then the fact that they're referencing somebody else's product, that's a total no-no. So I think it'd be very clear that you'll get the removal. The question is how many tickets are you going to need to file to make that happen? And that could be 3 tickets or it could be 20. This is all about squeaky wheel gets the oil on this question. And so you really just have to have a lot of tickets being filed on these questions. So never been asked this, never have tried to file a removal for an answer to a question on a listing. Let's go over to one of my listings here and take a look at like what this could look like, because I'm just kind of curious. So let's share the screen here and let's just go to one of my Grandma Shark glasses. Looks like I'm out of stock. That's not good. So even I have supply chain woes right now. So if we scroll down and go to the question section, so we only have one question. Why don't you have a Gigi glass? So you can upvote a question like this, but I don't see a report button. So that's really interesting. So if you click on this button though, this is the question right here. That's the link that you would file in the tickets. And I don't see any way to file a report here. So it's, oh, there we go. Right there, report abuse. So if you have a way to report the abuse right there, I would click that and then would also file a Seller Central ticket on top of that. So Nico, give that a whirl. Let me know if that works for you. Yes, Frederick, I got stumped. I've never had to do that one before. So I did. I got stumped on that one. If anybody has any further info on getting a report done for an answer to a Q&A question, feel free to weigh in. That might make an interesting video. I'll have to do some more research on that. Thanks for the links. Is there a place to see my organic CTR? Not from the ads, but the organic one. No, there is not. You can only trace CTR on ads, to my knowledge. Nothing in business reports does CTR. They only give you a percentage of voice in the brand analytics. Actually, now that I think of it, maybe there is something. Let's go on a little search and find mission right now. Let's check it out, see if we can find something. So I'm logging into my Seller Central account, and I'm going to go over to the brand analytics tab, and let's see if CTR is in here. So search frequency, number one, click ASIN. So if we scroll to the right here, it's kind of hard to see this. I don't like the format of it. They do not show. Yeah, they do. They got a percentage right there. So you'd have to be in the top 3. This report's really brutal to read in the actual dashboard. But if we download the Excel file, let's see what that looks like. So I'm not actually seeing the download go through. I wonder why. Brand analytics, nothing. Well, I hit download, but nothing happened. So I'm trying to scroll to the right to kind of showcase this, but if you go over here to the click rate, you can see what your percentage of the click rate is, and this would be organic. So I don't think they show this inside of anything else. So if we go over to market brand analytics basket, so combination, that's not what we need. Purchase behavior, that'll show you the compared and contrast. So I think the only thing we can see there was that original sheet I showed you. So Scooter, give that a whirl, see if that's helpful for you. But the ad CTR is pretty helpful, in my opinion. All right. So Nico says, got it. Tried calling. They weren't helpful. I'll try sending a ticket report. Good to see you as well. Hopefully that works out for you, Nico. All right. I'm going to scroll to the top now and catch some of our future members. They're not non-members. They're future members. And by the way, guys, we do have an ability to sell some swag now. We're in the process of adding our t-shirts and our hats to our website and in a merchandising section. I don't believe that is live as of this very moment, but that should be live by our next phone call. We've also added a merchandising part of our channel inside of the YouTube channel. I actually filled it out last night. And there's a store link now. If you go to the store link, we've got socks, we've got shirts. They're all available. So if you guys want to support, you want to wear some swag, you can see this here. We are not trying to make money on this swag. This is not a money play. This is purely you guys asked for it, so I made it happen. So if you guys want to buy a t-shirt, you can find it here. It's got our logo on it. Give it a whirl. A bunch of different t-shirt options. I posted a link in the chat if you feel inclined. All right. So Decode says, is the Amazon account one per person or one per company? It's per company, actually. If a company gets the Amazon deactivated, then can another company by the same owner apply for it? How will the LLC versus the Corp make the difference? So if you file a new tax ID, new bank account, new credit card, you're going to be set. You can have the same address. You do not need to use VPNs or other crazy things that a lot of people do to have multiple accounts. Multiple accounts today is totally kosher. Just don't sell the same items on multiple accounts. If you have an account suspended and you open up another account and they link them, that could be problematic though. So generally speaking, I don't recommend opening up a multiple account if you already have a suspension. The only exception to this, the only chance this would work for you is if the second multiple account is completely fresh, never been loaded to Amazon, doesn't have any, is a brand new tax infrastructure, LLC or S Corp or whatever it might be. Thomas says, where did that one? Scroll down here. Did Karen's as well. Ovo says, hello, Steven. Do you have a service that will upload my listing via flat file? Reason being, the product is a knife and it's asked for a certain customer restriction type. We don't have a lot of standalone services at this point. We're mostly a full service shop at the moment. So what I generally recommend when people are in this situation is to hire us for a coaching call. Saban does most of our catalog loading on coaching. I would recommend booking a call with him. He's our most popular coach to do catalog troubleshooting. So Ovo, feel free to book a call with Saban here on the website. I'll post a link in the chat. And then that's an hour-long coaching call where we'll actually work on loading that template for you. I bet you this is a one-call solution, so give that a whirl. And here is the problem with the UK 18 knife. Haven't used any main keywords in the listing because it would get flagged and removed. Having issues with the flat file. So $100 to get a coaching session with Saban here. You can see that right there. $500 for me or $150 for one of my account directors in Dustin or Jason there. And then those are 30-minute calls versus the hour with Saban there. Thank you for being here. If I use flat files to manage content, man, this is the Flat File Friday Q&A. It's restock limits and flat file questions coming in today. So we'll have to title our session today accordingly. So if I use flat files to manage content, it is okay to use the regular GUI to upload, change, manage images, or always stick to flat file. You could do an occasional manual change in the UI there. No problem at all, Marion. I do generally like making changes by flat file whenever possible because they take better. They don't have as many challenges or problems. So I definitely recommend it. All right. So I think we caught up to the pre-mic issue questions. So now I am scrolling down to the next section. Wow, there were so many comments today, guys. Trying to find. All right, Harls, you're next. If you have variations, color only, would you put different words in a listing? Titles, bullet points, alt tags, SEO, and ranking benefits of doing this. Probably not going to get a lot of value out of that. There's just not a differentiation between the products, so the value prop's not the same. If they're parented, I would say minimal value at best, other than keywords dedicated to that specific color. So if you were going for like black t-shirt, white t-shirt, I would definitely get some black, use the Spanish word negro for black as well. Inside of your keywords, do blanco or blanca for white, those kinds of things. Those are the sort of things I would do. But in terms of doing like 17 variations of t-shirt or best t-shirt for him, wouldn't worry about that at all. Yarrow says in old videos you showed using Shipstation for sending orders from Walmart to Amazon FBA. But Amazon sometimes assigns tracking numbers of Amazon Logistics, which is not allowed by Walmart. How do you solve this? I would use WFS at this point, which is Walmart's fulfillment program. So you can send inventory into WFS, which is Walmart's equivalent to FBA. That is a superior program. However, I have not seen it increase sales for people. So unlike FBA Prime, you see increases in sales immediately by using FBA. We do not see that with Walmart WFS. We have several videos on WFS on how to set it up, how to get all that stuff going. I'll put one of those videos there, and then the playlist, if you click on it following, will take you through all the other WFS things you need to know. We are brand registered, says Brian. When I type in our brand name in Amazon search window, our competition is showing up next to us, not in the sponsored ads section. That's because they're converting on your brand name, Brian. They've probably also previously bought ads on your brand name and previously converted in it. Now, if you are typing, one of the big things I want to call out here, if somebody goes to your listing like this, and they click on the visit the store button, if that doesn't exist, if it just says Mobster there, and instead of going to the store and you click on it and it goes to the search results, then you need to build a brand store. And if you already have a brand store and you're having that problem, you have a problem with the brand node ID. So Brian, I highly recommend that you file some tickets if you're experiencing that to get that corrected. All right, let's go to Jim. Part B, would you mind sharing your screen to clearly demonstrate what is a direct link versus what is search find by link versus what is two-step link? All right, this is a very technical question. Let's see what we can do on this one. So helium10.com/gems is a great way to demonstrate this. So in here, if we grabbed my random ASIN and we put in to two-step via brand, you could put the brand name, put the ASIN and the keywords like this, wine glass, and hit generate. Here is the URL equivalent for that. Same thing with a hidden two-step URL keyword, canonical URL, add to cart URL, buy together. There's just a lot of ways you can build these URLs. So Jim, I think you should check out helium10.com/gems. This is free. And you can see they've even added some Walmart stuff. Helium 10 just launched some keyword research opportunities for Walmart. If you want to get a discount to signing up for Helium 10, we are an affiliate of them. We push their product because it's solid. We love Helium 10's product. You get 50% off month one by using this link or typing in My Amazon Guy 50. I'll put that in the chat as well. So those are the difference between those links is literally how the URL displays, Jim. Check out helium10.com/gems. Let's scroll down to see the next question in queue here. So Comfort asks, no account yet. How much is it to work with you? So we don't release pricing of our full service management until you have a phone call with us. There's just a lot of variation in opportunities there. But just so you know what our full service entails, it's full setup work, everything that manages your catalog, all the merchandising, SEO work, design, and PPC. We made this graphic to basically explain our service in one graphic. If you do these 4 things continuously in a cycle, that equates to traffic, conversion, and sales. Generally speaking, comfort for those that are just launching an account, I usually recommend starting with a coaching call, because that is a non-committal way to get a point in the right direction, depending on where you are in your sourcing, your logistics, all those kinds of things. So definitely check that out. Eric says, how do you add a UPC after a listing is created? Great question. So all you need to do is do a template file upload, which is also the theme of today's session, which apparently I got to do more videos on template uploads. You guys really want some template upload videos. You're just going to go into a template, fill in the attribute for the UPC, and then load it into Amazon. Easier said than done, I realize. So let's see if I can pull up an actual template file here. And I will actually show a little bit more here, because there's a lot of people asking for this right now. So here is an actual template file. And this one was to help me build some parentage back in the day. So under here, you've got your feed product type. This is generally the same on most products. You're not going to do anything there. You have to fill in your SKU. No matter any time you load to Amazon, you must always fill in the SKU. Everything else, if you're doing a partial upload, can be blank. So in the case of the UPC, we would load the SKU. We would then go to the product ID. We'd type in the UPC right here. And in column F, you would type in the type, which is UPC. So you would load your UPC in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, like that, right? And a UPC, I think, is 12 or 13 digits long. So you put your UPC in here, you type in UPC there, and then you would go over to the update column. So we scroll over to updates right here in column X on the screen here. You would then change this to either partial updates if you're only filling in the UPC. If you're going to load all of your data, you would do updates. So probably the easiest way to do this, Eric, is to go do a category listing export from your channel. And with a category listing export, you will have all of your data. And then you would literally just come into that template, change the UPC from an ASIN to a UPC, or if it's blank, just simply fill it in and then go in and load it. We do have a video on how to do a template export, which is very, very valuable. So I'll post that one here. So how to export bullets and keywords out of Amazon. So this is the one we're looking for. So I'll post this one in here. So Eric, check this one out. Template export. Now, the really cool thing about what we explain in this video is you can get the template actually exported with all of your data, 100% of your data. So it'll look like this. But what you have to do, though, is you have to request a ticket to get the export to go through. And then after the ticket goes through, the category listings report will show up in your listing report types. Currently, if you don't request the ticket, it will not show up. So your steps, just to recap that, Eric, you would file a ticket requesting access to export a category listings report. You would then download it. You will then open it, change the UPC column. Then you'll come back into Amazon and do an upload. So in this video, we walk through how to get that ticket done, what that looks like. And then after that, you're going to go over to inventory, add products via upload, upload inventory file, and then scroll down to inventory files, choose the file, and hit upload. That's it. Obviously, there's a lot of information. Very, very challenging to do that when you're first going it alone. If you need help, let us know. We'll support you however we can. Verdict says, good question. I agree. Wasif says, I'm having issues with the FBA fees for my product. I should be charged $2.66, but I'm being charged £4.64. I've measured the product myself, and the dimensions are 40 cm by 30 by 20. So I've dealt with this issue before. Here is your solution. Take your item, grab a measuring tape, and literally show a picture of you measuring the item and submit it in the ticket and say, see attached proof that my item is this dimension. Please update my fees to 266. They will then escalate your request, remeasure it on their side. But when you show them the proof, you make it so easy on them that they can just simply say yes, and they're good to go. So that would be my answer on that one. I have another video where I walk through every single issue that you might have with measurements and UPCs as well. And I highly recommend that one, but I don't know how to find that one on the fly. So I'm going to go to the next question. Ryan says, our 3PL is in LA, but lately we're being assigned to East-coast fulfillment centers for our shipments into FBA. Any tricks to getting a fulfillment center closer to our 3PL address? Yes. Switch your ship from address to something out of state. Now, obviously, if you're doing an LTL, that's not going to work. But if you were in California and it was previously telling you to ship to North Carolina, if you switched your state to Oregon, it will shift your state out of North Carolina. Sometimes also, if you change the date of when you try and make the shipment, so delete your current shipment and try again the next day, it could rotate. So definitely try and figure that one out. Another video request for video on advanced listing optimization. So generally speaking, until people get the core stuff done, the advanced stuff doesn't matter. So if you don't have a video and 6 photos loaded, you're not ready for advanced stuff. Got to have your title, your bullets, and the A+ content with at least 1,000 words of copy. Get that up and going. Get all that stuff built out with a product grid. Then you're ready for some more advanced stuff. But get all those basics done. You're not ready for it until you get those. Christian says, hey, Stephen, want to get some EBC done from you guys for completely optimized SEO. Can you guys offer me guidance and tell me what pictures to ask my photographer to shoot for the A+ content? So at bare minimum, we need your photo on weight. And beyond that, get a variety of shots. So you want to have a tight shot. So if this is my product, give me a tight shot where it fills the camera. Give me a medium shot like this. Give me a far away shot. And then also give me a shot with multiple products in it. So if you have multiple things that you sell, give me a 2 shot. Get a shot of underneath, the sides, get the shots of the product in use, right? So this is my Momster hot sauce. I no longer sell this, but I keep it on my desk to remind me it's not possible for me to be perfect because I paid Amazon to do my FBA shipments with my hot sauce. And I paid them to do the prep work. So what they did is they took my 4.5 pound bottle here. I could like lift weights. It's so heavy. And they put it in bubble wrap. And then they shipped out my damn bottles inside of bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. They put my bottles in bubble wrap. Bubble mailers. And they didn't put it in a box. So, of course, all my stuff got damaged. Anyway, so showing the product in use. So if you sell an item that's consumable, show a person eating it. Show a lot of different shots and variety in use. So lifestyle, also helpful. Now, a lot of people, when they first get started, they don't have a budget for some of these things. So just get as many things as you can, variety of shots. When you give it to us, we will use stock photos. We will insert people into your shots whenever possible, and we'll make do with what we can. Please suggest the best video tutorial about, we did that one, how to connect UK account merchant ID to my brand. The log tickets with brand support, as you mentioned in an earlier video, but going in circles. So the long and the short of this is Brand Registry sucks. They have a lot of problems connecting brand node IDs. Very, very challenging. I recommend that you watch my video on connecting the brand store. So let's see if we can find that one here. Brand node ID. So this one might be directionally helpful for you. Brand store connect. So let's see if we can find that one. It's not coming up. The one I know which one you need. Connect. This is the one right here. So Mohammed, this is the video you need to watch. The one on connecting Brand Registry. Check this one out. You're going to file tickets in Brand Registry as well as in Seller Central and see if you can get that sorted out. All right. So let's go. Scuda, thank you very much for the super sticker donation. That is amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let's go down to Abdallah. I launched a new product with new cool features no one is having. The premium competitor price is 35, but my profitable price is 40. Made a PickFu survey and 40% say price is acceptable. And then what? Let's see, your question got cut off. How far would you invest in a package of a giftable product that would be sold for $35? How far would I invest in the packaging? Up to $5, nothing more than $5. So my Age of Sage box right here, this is $5 because of the things that we put inside of it. So inside of here, you can see we have this nice little ruffle, and the box itself is physically built to hold the items together. Very sturdy box. I can't believe it costs $5, but it does. And so I would not go over $5 on packaging. Probably could get away with $3, but you're probably going to be realistically looking at $5 if it's a larger item of at least 12 by 12. So that's how far I would go to invest on that. Let's go to the next one for member questions. Scrolling back up to the top. Can I also get a copy of an Amazon USA brand store to Canada and the UK? I'm not aware if that's possible. So it's, I don't think it is. I don't think you can port a brand store. They just allowed the A+ content porting, but I'm not aware if it's possible to do that. Can you please rank which country's Amazon marketplace sales is highest, followed by lower sales if possible? All right, so the US is the largest. Everybody knows that. Second is Germany. Third, it's a toss-up between the UK and Canada. So generally speaking, when somebody's looking to get out of the US, I would recommend go to Canada first. It's the easiest one to do because it's local and nearby. And then the UK and Germany would be the next two markets to go to. Germany's way bigger, like 3 to 5 times bigger than the UK. So I generally recommend Germany first, but a lot of people will do the UK before they do Germany because the UK is in English, whereas German's in German. And so that's why it can be quite challenging to manage that. But you can do advertising in German's language inside of the German market very easily. The keyword tools that are available for that make it very manageable. So I highly recommend checking that out. David says, what's the best way to print? Oh, you know what, Karen, I have a couple more things on this one. So after the UK and Germany, every other marketplace is relatively on the same shaky ground. I would say the rest of the Europe, followed by Australia, followed by Japan, India, and way in the distant last is Brazil. So check those out in accordance. David says, what is the best way to print FBA labels from Seller Central on Dymo 450 Twin Turbo? Generally, I use Amazon Labels plugin, but I'm not seeing the button anymore to print. I don't have an answer on this one. If anybody has an answer on this is a very, very specific piece of equipment you're using. They might have discontinued that. I would be surprised if they did. Generally speaking, you can do any sort of label printing. And so inside of the portal, you can do both full page print, and you can also do like the 4x6 laser printing. Jeffrey says, can you have A+ content that shows a quote from a verified review from a buyer, and do we need to show their name? Technically, this is against terms and services. Have I seen it done? Many times. You cannot use any wording like guarantee, warranty. Those sort of things definitely don't go, they don't fly. So generally speaking, the more celebrity-like somebody is, the more likely a public quote from them would be acceptable to get it approved for A+ content. So I would check that out and I would try it. I would absolutely try and submit it to get a go through, Jeffrey. I don't see there's any risk by submitting it and then rejecting it. But I do know for a fact that they do prohibit review mentions. So one of the things you could do, I definitely would not show their name. You could try and make it more like conversational, like customers say things about you, you know, what our customers like, or here's a feature that customers talk about. Those would be easy ways to get around it. If you try to use like the Amazon 5-star image, I bet you that will get rejected. Old Hickory doing some legwork for me today. Please hit that like button for Stephen, folks. Good content is worth clicking the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love when fans are pushing it for us. Yay, all famous people sell their stuff. We'll see. Dan says, no questions for today. I'm learning a lot. Thank you. You're very welcome. Stop by anytime and ask questions. We'll do whatever we can to help you. Which price would you suggest on the 35 versus 40? I would say go to market at 35, get some initial reviews and some sales in, and then put it up to $40 2 to 6 weeks later. Generally going to market at a little bit lower price, I think would be beneficial. Frederick, I did say $5, but I didn't address like the sale price, which I think was what he's asking for. I talked about how much to invest in the packaging only for the $5.